What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Deconstructing Topic podcast. I did not forget my deconstructing family. I did not forget you at all. I did say I was gonna do like a weekly thing, and last week, be a little bit honest, I was a little bit out of it, trying to figure a couple of things out. So much going on in this world, so much going on in my life, so much going on. But we gotta make it happen. So I'm gonna make sure that I make these things a weekly episode, like I always said. Want to bring at least 2 episodes per week. If it's up to me, I'll do it daily, but sometimes you need that mind. So today we are back, and today's episode 10 of the Deconstructing Topic podcast. You, my family, I appreciate the support, the love, the feedback. And today we're gonna be talking about something I've been wanting to talk about for the longest. And that's the philosophy behind the political parties, aka the uni-party, aka means also known as the Democrats and Republicans, the two U.S. major political parties that are running this country. And we're gonna examine, and what do I mean by the uni-party? And a lot of people have asked me, well, some of you have asked me, hey, what does that mean, the uni-party? Does that... Trying to get an idea what does that mean. And when I always talk about the uni-party, I'm always talking about the both political parties, the Democrats and Republicans. And for me, I view them as one party. They both have a little bit differences here and there, but they both pro-war, pro-corporation, pro of a lot of things that is not helping the people, as you can see. I mean, 20 years ago, for those who remember, when this country was under George W. Bush, president then, Republican, the news, the medias came on our TV screen. Political, I believe it was Colin Powell that came in on screen talking about this weapons of mass destruction and why we need to go to, I keep saying we, United States, but I'm living here. I love America. Look, sometimes people are going to sound, and I'm pretty sure that people are not going to be like, oh, you sound like a little, anti-American or something to that effect. And no, not at all. I love America so much. That's why I devote myself to do this podcast, to wake people up. Because people shouldn't be puppets. You shouldn't be going out there and be putting these people to empower. And going back to what happened like 20 years ago, it's like it looks like the script has changed. And they lied to the American people and using your tax money to fund a war going on in Iraq for no apparent reason. They didn't find anything there. And now we funding Ukraine. Now the difference is that we're not sending troops. Like I said, the optics there. Don't want to send troops. That's not a popular thing. But hundreds of billions of dollars. And it's crazy because, I was telling somebody, one of my sisters in arms, and I was like, everything I do, and I'm in New York City, every time I swipe my debit card or anything, just for something simple, it seems like I'm wasting like almost $18. The other day, I had a couple little stomach issues going on there. Bought a little over-the-counter pills and so on, and I bought something else, and it was like, 19 and some change. And I'm like, eh. And right now, there's a lot of Americans that, there's a lot of people who might, make a decent living, but with the way things is going, it's like people are in debt. People sometimes got to use that little extra money. You got to survive. You got to eat. Remember, we in New York City, so there's a lot of stuff in New York City that's expensive. So right now, the average person would say, "Wow, I wish I had $5,000 right now." In terms of, let me get a personal loan, let me get that. And I said to myself, United States right now, the military complex, they're spending $61,000 per minute on Ukraine. You're going to tell me that you can't get some of that money? You're not that guy Zelensky. He doesn't even have a student loan debt or anything like that. Doesn't have that. He never paid American taxes, but he's getting your tax money. Same with the uni-party. And my thing with the uni-party and the Democrats and Republicans, like these parties have no intention to help people, but to make money off our division. And I remember not too long ago, I was talking to one of my brothers in arms who's a little bit hesitant to call the uni-party because there's differences, and we was discussing. He was like, well, one of the reasons I vote Democrats because they're pro-union. And I said, whoa, are they really? Now, when he says pro-union, for those who are familiar with unions, having a union is supposed to be something where you're pro-worker. But I explained, just because you're pro-union doesn't mean you're pro-worker. And I live in, last time I checked, I'm in New York, a blue state. And New York is an at-will state, meaning that the company that you work for could terminate you. They don't have to give you a reason unless it's something discriminatory. People are going to be like, what? So you tell me I work for a company 15, 20 years one day and they could just say, you know what, your service is no longer needed? Absolutely they can. That's what I mean, that just because you're pro-union doesn't mean you're pro-worker. And one of the reasons why the Democrats lean towards installing pro-union lawyers and things like that in the National Relations Board or whatever, it's because of donations that they get from the unions. Let's call it as it is. If you're not getting these monies from these unions, Democrats probably wouldn't even care. They will side with the pro-corporate, and they do at the end of the day. And I was explaining to that just because you're pro-union, again, you're still in a party that's pro-war. Meaning that it defeats the purpose of being pro-union if you're pro-war. You got to keep in mind what war does. There's a lot of billions of dollars that's been sent, not just Ukraine, but other places. I think they just passed a little thing of to Syria, like $100-something million, something to that effect. And the fact is that they invaded Syria. It stayed a couple of years, just went to Syria, took whatever the oil, destroyed them, and now it's like, oh, I'm sorry, here's some money. Someone has to pay the price. Someone, and my understanding is people out there that have mentioned how, and there's an article out there that how when the United States punts money in war, it takes a lot. It destroys more of the black communities because, again, there are certain issues that could be addressed with the money that the United States makes off of tax money, taxpayers. Matter of fact, they sending monies over there, like I said, $61,000 per minute. There's a lot of stuff that you do the math. It could be addressed. Homelessness, for example, in New York City and a lot of places. Poverty. Oof, that's another podcast I'll be touching. So I always emphasize to the people, this is the pro-war, and I remember pro-war, pro-corporate, big pharma. That's another thing too. 20 years ago, the Democrat Party was the anti-big pharma. Oh, big pharma. When I say big pharma, that's the pharmaceutical companies who have reaped billions of dollars because of COVID. And it's no coincidence to me that under the Democrats administration and across the board, like I said, the uni-party, that they mandated the vaccine, Who makes money off the vaccine? Not you. And they definitely not telling you to get the COVID shot when they mandated the COVID, and how the media would put these commercials and pit people against people that did not take the vaccine. And I'm like, really? Are you letting these people, manipulate you that you should hate even people from your family because they not take the vaccine? Come on now. But at the end of the day, you don't benefit from it. Because of the COVID. I don't know. We don't know what the hell is going on over there. But the big pharmaceutical companies, they make the good money off of it. But not true. And then that's one of the things that the uni-party is one hand washes the other. And as we speak, we got a presidential candidate running on the independent, or let's say not independent, third party, the Green Party, Cornel West, the black philosopher, activist. I mean, that's a brother's brother. If you see his interview, and I'm going to share his interview, and I've been telling people about Cornel West. I enjoy Cornel West for the most part. I mean, he's a brother's brother. Like, you could feel like he's genuine to help the people. But he's running on a third party. And it's interesting because you would think that, and I'll be more specific, white liberals would jump into Cornel West, especially those white liberals that funded or gave money to Black Lives Matter, claiming that black people this, black people that, that all cops are bad, and kind of like trying to feel pity for the black community, but they don't really care about the black community like that. So the minute Cornel West said, I'm running, you know how brother talks, he's like, I'm running to help America. Oh, they started bashing him. Those same, white liberals, white media, everybody know. NPR, The Nation, they went after Cornel West. Oh, well, he shouldn't be running for president because if he does, then he's going to take away and Trump is going to win. I'm like, oh, great. Then, hey, why should we vote and continue to put these people in power with a uni-party? When these two political parties, one claims to be pro-life and pro-choice, whatever it is. But, at the end, what does that mean? They use these little culture war things, these little topics, abortion, with all due respect to women, LGBT, with all due respect to LGBT, pro-corporation, anti-corporation, whatever it is, pro-union, with all due respect to the unions. Those topics don't affect the everyday average American. It doesn't. We still got poverty here in this country. New York City. And sometimes I always say, don't think that poverty it's because of certain parts. I mean, I know there's certain parts of the United States that have it more harsh because of access to certain things. But in New York City, it's a different monster. New York City is like that convenience store. That's why everything is hijacked, the prices and all that. We pay for the convenience of living here. The average medium here is $111,000. The sad thing is that there's a lot of people that don't make that money. A lot. So what happens? They survive. That's where crime comes in and all that. But for me, the way I see poverty, in example, New York City, it's like it's created. It's not genuine. It's not, how can I say, it's not something that because of something, there's a domino effect. No, I think it's just created on purpose. Let people starve. Because when people starve, people don't think properly. Crime goes up. Don't think that people wake up, look at it. I'll be honest, I might have done dirt when I was young, when I was starving, poor, at one point. So, that's one of those things that I emphasize when it comes to the uni-party. And then we put these people in power. The Clintons, and I was telling somebody, and it's interesting, and I go back to my brother-in-law, and I always compare politics in the uni-party to professional wrestling, WWE style, Hulk Hogan, what you gonna do, brother, type of deal, The Rock, you smell what the la, those people, Stone Cold, give me a hell yeah, after this podcast, I'll probably grab a beer or two. I'm a little bit hyped now. So, what is it about pro wrestling why I compare this? So, wrestling is scripted. I don't want to use the word fake because I don't want somebody or pro wrestler that's listening to this podcast be like, wait, what you said? I'm just saying, I'm just trying to, it's a theater. So you got two people. You got a good guy, a good person, a good guy, whatever you want to call it, what they call baby face. And you got the heel, the villain, the bad guy. Those two people put on a theater and you pick one who's going to win and you're emotionally invested. But at the end of the day, it's all scripted. Those people don't hate each other at all. And it's funny because, let's say you got two opponents. You got me versus you. I'm just using an example. It's 2023. I'm the good guy. You're the bad guy. 3 years from now, we go to another feud, but this time I'm the bad guy and you the good guy. See how that works? And it changes the perception of the who the audience root for. And that's, to me, it's what the uni-party is all about. You know, I see online some people talking about Trump, like they hate Trump. And I'm like, bro, if you're gonna, like I always say, if you're gonna hate Trump, hate the person that created Trump, which is Hillary Clinton. Now, he got indicted for whatever classified. I don't even know what does he have. But what breaks me is how people be like, yeah, he should go arrested. And I'm like, wait a minute. So they charging him with this thing called the Espionage Act of 1917. Glenn Wynn will talk about it. For those who, let's say, familiar with a couple of stuff, Julian Assange and Edward Snowden. Julian Assange, the founder of WikiLeaks. I always tell people how he became known, and one of the things that people have short-term memory, but I remember there was a video that was uploaded in WikiLeaks where you had these journalists with civilians, and there was a screen, and then there was a chopper just flying. And I guess this chopper was like stealth because they didn't see the chopper. And then the next thing, you hear somebody on the radio telling a pilot, yo, go ahead. The next thing, you see bullets. Like these bullets are like 12-inch bullets. Like a ruler or something like that. Just being like target to human skin, humans. You see pieces of humans just flying. And those are the things that United States has been doing for years. We go to these countries, we telling the American, we need your support, we need your money. And we ransack these countries. Civilian life, innocent life that has nothing to do with the war, and Julian Assange. So he was charged with the same thing. And I say to myself, wow, so let's just say I'm a journalist and I dig in. And I found out that our government had just been wanting to be part of this Ukraine thing for years. They've been working on it, but because Trump was the president, they couldn't do it. Let's just say it's all scripted, and then they're going to take our tax money. And I found out that that's what it was as a journalist, and I become a whistleblower. And just because I did my work to show the truth and what happened to the American public, because the voters, the taxpayer, they deserve the truth. Out of nowhere, I'm going to be charged. And I see people shaving on like, yeah, Trump go to jail. I'm like, yo, chill, relax. I'm going to emphasize to people, I didn't vote for Trump. Never. Not a MAGA. How Russell Brand would say, I'm not a MAGA, whatever. I'm just a freedom person. And I'm the same way. I'm freedom. I'm up for freedom. Tell me what you got to do. Tell me what you want to do. Without the constraints and the shackles of these uni-party, the Democrats and the Republican Party, they both the same. And I tell people, like, why is it that you feel that way? Look, just to give you an idea, I'm from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico also have those two main parties there that are dividing the country. They don't do anything for the country. So, I'm from the independence movement, and that's another podcast there. And in our movement, you have to see that we view America, because America did crazy things in our country, and they allow big pharma. So the pharmaceutical companies were doing some crazy work. Like before, like I'll give you an example. Before the headache pill comes in, you got this big pharmaceutical company in Puerto Rico testing it on the people, even though people died, until they get the good results, and then they'll start selling those pills here. Just to give you an idea how that works. Puerto Rico was just like a lab. Not only just a lab, but even before that, when it came to war, you draft 50, 60,000, 70,000 Puerto Ricans, boom. Because they're American citizens, but not fully. Again, that's a different conversation. So I come with that mindset of being anti-imperial, and I'm here to wake up to people. I don't, Puerto Rico, let's say my neighbors, Dominican Republic in 65, they got invaded by United States. I don't see that as the Republicans invaded or the Democrats invaded. No, United States. What consists United States? Two political parties. And they have, once in a while, you get an independent, the Bernies, quote unquote, but not fully. Once in a while. So when you get these political parties, or whatever the case might be, when you get a third party, they want to restrict that third party from doing something. Hey, hold on, from running, because they don't want that. So my thing is this: I'm here in the United States. Why am I picking a party? Why am I picking a side? I shouldn't be picking a side. I'm gonna remind you what this country, this government, whatever it is, done to my country. Not only just to my country, but South America, the Caribbean, Hawaii, Africa. And you're telling me that I'm here in this country and I should be picking a side? Nah, I'm good. Relax. I'm good. But I will remind you, you shouldn't be going out there and, let's vote. You get a sticker. I'm going to do these little stickers. Little ideas here that I got. Fermenting some ideas here. My creative wild side. Woo. So whenever people vote, they get those stickers voted. I voted. No, I'm going to give you a sticker, a bootlick. Bootlick. That's that whole thing where it says brown nosing, kissing ass. It's the other way to do it, and that's what it is. The masters of these parties, because I always tell people, look, if you look at the elite Democrats, Republicans, they all look the same. White, old. Once in a while, you get people of color. You got the squad with the Alejandra Cortez and Ilhan Omar and Ayanna Presley and all those people. And on the right, you got Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I don't know what happened to the politician with the one with the patch. He was an American. He was a soldier at one point. He lost his eye. And he was coming on SNL. They were giving him a show until when it came to Ukraine, you voted pro-war. That's the end of him. Yeah, he was that person who was telling Americans, they lied to us when we went to Iraq. Oh, but you voted for yes. Marjorie Taylor Greene, supposedly anti-pro-war, but they all look alike because they sell you something. And I always say with the squad, it's like, and some people laugh when I put on Twitter, I'm like, look, the squad, it's just people to add color to Congress. They don't really, nothing, Jamal Bowman, they nothing. And I'm more critical of the liberal Democrats, neoliberal, because I'm in New York City. And when people talk about, Trump is racist, I remember I came across one of my friends on the socials back in 2019. They were like, I'm going to vote because we need to end racism. I'm like, what? What? You had the other person that had the Biden-Harris background, and we need to vote because democracy pen. I'm like, what? Democracy, we lost democracy a long time ago. And like Jimmy Dore says, you know when we lost democracy? When a lot of people are living check to check. And don't get me started with, but bad people make this bad decisions. Sure. But it's funny because those people that you put in power, they could make bad decisions, but they good. And like I was telling somebody, hey, you want to call Trump racist, whatever it is. Oh, Trump is racist and blah, 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 blah. I tell people, what's more racist than Trump? New York City. And I lived in New York City for 30 years. And nothing has changed, honestly. The people on the bottom is still people of color. Black, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans. And it's interesting because I'm in living in the Bronx. I was in an area where it was like predominantly Muslim. And I'm like, wow, there's a lot of Bangladesh people in this area in houses. And it's funny, it's interesting. And Be straight up. They just renting it to their own people. Yeah, we over here stuck in the projects. Because nobody want to rent. Oh, you don't want to rent your house to people of color. When I say people of color, you be like, oh, brown people. Yeah, brown people, we all the same. No, you're not. Because I don't see black. I don't see Puerto Ricans. I don't see you renting it to those people. Wow. And we live in an area that's Democratic and it's represented by Ocasio-Cortez. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. You got to call these things out, right? That's racism. That's another different podcast. And that's the things that I always tell people is like, I view, when it comes to the political aspect, the philosophy of it, it's like I view it's the same parties. It's the same one uni-party. And we're going to go 2024 presidential election. We're going to go with that thing. And I'll be doing another podcast about who's running so far. Who's in the lead, so that you could be aware of what's going on. I'm feeling my boy Cornel West and on the fact that he's running on the third party, Green Party. Whew. Oh, I'm excited. Very anti-establishment because the establishment hides behind both parties and they both the same. And it's interesting because Biden, if you grab Biden, who's the president now, 20 years ago, he was anti-LGBT, anti-gay marriage. You can find these videos online. So, oh, no, but he changed. No, he didn't change. He changed for the establishment because the establishment have to pick a side. Keep in mind, 20 years ago, the Democrats and Republicans were kind of similar, totally the same line as anti-gay marriage. Oh, but Obama changed. Obama was anti-gay marriage too. But what happens is the pressure, especially in the LGBT community. Hey, listen, they have their rights. But what you started to notice is like, Democrats started seeing the LGBT community more like voters, and that's what they do. They don't see you like your issue as a black community. Give you a list of issues that you got in the black community. That's why New York City, still, in terms of who's on top, who's on middle, who's on the bottom, is because they promise you, and unfortunately as a voter, so I'm going to vote for you. And when you vote for them, when it comes to the LGBT, they you see you as voters. So once you get voted in, they'll probably do one single thing for you. Okay, gay marriage, boom, let's get it. But what have they done after that? And they pander, and unfortunately, voters, because they always tell you, like in New York City, you got to vote Democrats, you can't let the Republicans. And I'm like, you always hear, it's the lesser of two evils. It's not the lesser of two evils. They're both evil. They're both, they love it when you salivate and, see it on your mouth like, the Republicans and Trump, they must go down. They love it because they're going to make money off of you, off your hate. I want someone right now who voted for the Democratic Party. And look, I ain't going to. Don't forget that the Republicans is out there too, but I want somebody right now, be in New York City, right now. Go to your local politician, whoever's your district council. I want you to ask them $5,000 right now. Tell them hey, give me $5,000, pass $5,000, some type of stimulus right now. And they're going to say, oh, we don't got no money. Or they got money for Ukraine over there. They got it. Student debt loan. And it's funny because the public system here, they made you feel, I remember when I was in high school, like you had to go to college. They put that thing in your mind like if there was no other jobs, and I know jobs in industries. Look, I know people that are union that work as cleaners, throwing out the garbage in a residential commercial building. Making about almost $30 an hour with medical benefits and all that. But they told you, like, those jobs are not good. So you should go to college. You need a degree in all fairness, there are things that, yes, you do. And there's a lot of people out there with student debt because, they really brainwashed that you had to, right? Again, I have respect for those people who decided to go so. I like how sometimes they throw stats. Oh, people with college degrees, they make $20,000 more than somebody that's not in the same position. But guess what? That $20,000 actually defeat the purpose when you got a student debt loan of $150,000. Go figure. Oh, but they don't got money for you. But they got money for Ukraine. Pro-war, that's how it works. So when people are telling me, hey, listen, I'm going to vote Democrats because, we got to end racism and the Republicans is about destroying our democracy. I'm like, yo, they both destroyed our democracy. And, I see the Democrats and Republicans always fighting with, the LGBT aspect of the schools and so on. Again, that's another different discussion. I tell the LGBT people, I want you to see it this way. Don't see this protect trans kid as something that they're doing on their social conscience. They're not. What they want is those kids to actually be put in pills. Because at the end, if you're going to make changes in your body, you need certain pills, certain things. And guess who makes money off? Not the LGBT community. Not even those who are opposing that. What makes a lot of money is the elite, the politicians that are paying for you to push that issue on change, on that transition of kids. But at the end of the day, it's big pharmaceutical company. Oh yeah, get these kids on meds. See, they're not gonna see it as, I'm doing something socially. Now that kids wake up, and if a 8-year-old kid, let's say boy who feels like a girl and wants to be a girl, they salivate. They're not here on some, let them have that freedom. It's their body, if their choice, blah, 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 blah. No, they're not going to do that. They're just thinking about ching, 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 ching. Yeah, more kids on meds. Look, I'm all for freedom. But I don't see this whole, LGBT thing being, teaching class or whatever. I don't really see it as something as, let's show people the different type of people that we have in this United States. Because I really don't. I don't see it as that. I see it as, hey, you get kids on meds, you confuse kids. Whatever it is that's going on, you're going to be put them on meds. A lot of kids are going to go on meds at the end of the day. And who's going to make big money? I mean, who's going to make that big money, big pharma? The Republicans are going to be like, or the conservative, whatever it is, they're going to like, don't teach the kids in school. But then, what do you teach in your area? What county? What is it that you teach? Looks like you probably was kind of teaching a little bit of racism because, hey, listen, I know conservatives. And it comes, from a lot of Christian values and so on. But, when you implement Christian values to a kid, like saying, hey, you better than that person because you got Jesus, relax there. Relax there, Mr. Conservatives, Mrs. Conservative, whatever. Well, I'll be doing a podcast on you guys, too. Because I'm an equal opportunist. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that, it went a little bit long. I could go on and on and on and on and on and on about the uni-party. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to be doing a part 2. But when you go out there and you think in your mind, when you look at Trump, look, the Republicans and Trump and the lesser to evil. And, look, it's funny because the Bidens, they got a messed up family there. Trumps, the Clintons, the Barack Obamas, all those people there that don't really care about us. It's interesting because if their family, if something crazy happened to them, they committed crime, they good. They're not going to pay the price, but we're going to pay the price. If we do 1% of their crime, we done. But we put them in power, though. Next time that you want to, I tell people, when you listen to this, next time you want to find out where you listen to, Trump, there's a lot of stuff that the media claims that Trump said that wasn't true. And if, let's say, you do attack Trump, let's say on the stuff that he said about women, then why give a free pass to Joe Biden? He did stuff too. Should I remind you of Tara Reid? She's in Russia right now because she's scared. that she was going to confess to Congress. Someone who was assaulted by Joe Biden, rightfully, for a woman. I believe Tara Reid. But why is it that she had to go to another country, in Russia? Because, unfortunately, when you go against the establishment, whenever I see people trying to share on, Trump being indicted because of the Espionage Act, I always keep in mind Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Bobby Kennedy, just to name a few. The United States will go after you. They will definitely go after you. They have a history. So you want to cheer on the powers that be because they indicted Trump. You give them a lot of power just because you want to get Trump because you dislike Trump. Come on now. If they went after Martin Luther King, they went after Malcolm. Again, just to name a few, they could go after you real easily. Real easily. So don't share on that Trump got indicted. Don't share on that the FBI raided his house. No, because right now the FBI is raiding other people's house, especially the black socialists in Florida, the Uhuru, I believe. So that's the uni-party in itself, the philosophy behind the uni-party. I hope that you enjoy this conversation because I got mad love for you. I got mad love for all of you that are listening to. Woo, we making it happen, that's for sure. So once again, look out. I'll be doing these things a little bit more on a weekly basis. It's a little bit difficult because sometimes you do like little personal challenge, but I always say, me making great things happen every time. And not just every day, but every second. Me making it count. All right, my family. Much love. I'm out. Peace. I'm out. Take care. Peace.